from Florida to here. I finally got all my things from here to Florida when I initially moved, and it took like a year and a half just to get all my belongings from Philadelphia down to Florida. Then I had to move back because my mom and aunt passed away. My cousins desperately, like scoundrels, needed to sell the home that my mom and aunt lived in. And they didn't seem to care about me at all. It's on the odd side of what's wrong with them and how many men are pigs. A lot, turns out. I didn't know that. And interestingly, people who are less fortunate aren't pigs. And people who are overly fortunate are. I found that really interesting. It's like being a waitress and you always want to do the smoking section even if you don't smoke, because the smokers are more generous with tips. And the stingy, you know, perfect people over non-smoking. And technically, I don't smoke, and I complain about smoking, but if I were a waitress, I would know, can I get put on the smoking section tonight? Because I need to make $300 more than I usually do. That's how good that is. That intel. So anyway, that's the stained glass. I looked up stained glass artists. The person who gifted me the stained glass lamp that I had to leave behind at an Airbnb when I had to empty out a storage unit where all my belongings were kept for a while, you know, in hopes that I would find enough work to go back and be able to bring everything back, but I didn't. So I had to release a lot of things to Goodwill, Salvation Army, and any donation center. And there's a lot of things that I wish I had in my possession that I had to let go of because of the aforementioned pigs and a few others. So anyway, the person who gifted me the lamp mentioned the name of the artist. So I looked online, and the only artist I can find related to stained glass is Claire Driscoll, like Driscoll Strawberries. And the stained glass can look similar all across the board, you know what I mean? So anyway, I was like, maybe it's Clara Driscoll, but in the back of my mind, it's like when I saw the information about Clara Driscoll, she's passed away eons ago, and she's just known for being, you know, they have museums and stuff for Clara Driscoll. And I was like, I feel like his lamp is a more modern artist, like someone who's still living. I don't know if the person is still living who creates those lamps, but isn't that odd that it was gifted to him as if they picked it up at some local craft show or art show? Meanwhile, it also shows up in Chris's Jazz Cafe here in Philadelphia, the exact thing. So it's either mass-produced or like, and what if you're part of groups of people and you know that you're supposed to buy certain things? Which way? And you know you're supposed to buy certain things. So another example, and this could be in the world of rings. So when the house that my mom and aunt lived in was being sold, I noticed a picture online. And in my mom's room, which it was the only room that was totally hardwood flooring. I guess the living room. Anyway, her room had hardwood flooring-ish, like whatever you use, that's kind of hardwood flooring. And there was this little cute, kind of IKEA-ish little white chair that looked very Dutch, you know. It had wooden legs, and it was sort of like a kid's-sized chair. The room was small, so the chair probably was fit in there to not overtake the room, if you will. And don't you know, I do some overnights for someone over in the Delancey, over by Good Karma, which not many people actually have Good Karma. I know I do. So anyway, someone put out the exact same chair in the trash. And I was like, there's that chair. It's like the exact chair. I took a picture of it and everything. I was like, I can't believe it. And it made me think of my mom, who passed away, you know, on Florida's watch, the state of Florida. And Gainesville, Florida's watch, and those people. And in a way, when certain items show up, it could play into ring-like behavior or orchestrated stalking and harassment. So say there's always something there to remind you. It's like that song, always something there to remind me. There's all kinds of terms for things, stalking by proxy and so forth and so on. This, you know, the lamp and the chair are two things that I saw all the way down in north central Florida, Gainesville. and it turns up here in Philadelphia. And it wouldn't seem odd to you unless on top of everything else it's timed with certain people, places, and things. So in Chris's Jazz Cafe, I officially put them in the government category for some reason. It's like, you know, and people know what to buy if they're part of certain rings or groups. So it would be like, we know that we're supposed to buy, say you're like the Swedish House Mafia. This would be like kind of a silly way to say it. Say you're with the Swedish House Mafia and you only buy from IKEA. You know what I mean? So a Swedish House Mafia did the song, "Don't You Worry, Child." They make it seem like they can take care of everyone, and no one ever does. I have never met a male figure who's ever taken care of anyone. That's about it. That's all I have to say. Period. The opposite. Other than, in my case as an adult, in my adult life and childhood, I've never experienced a male who wasn't actually a big baby. Isn't that sad? I know they exist. I know there's good men out there. I don't know, maybe to survive, people have to be babies. I have younger relatives who seem to have more of a heart. But that's actually a fact. I was like, in order for men to survive, did they have to learn to be scoundrels and babies? So anyway, sorry to be so negative, but I'm in shock over the behaviors. And when you sit down and sort of do the math, it's like, whoa, these people are really bad. I was born into a bad system where people learn really bad behaviors and that's how they get by. And you're like the odd one out. It's like, how'd I wind up in this? And you know, certain people, technically my mom, sister, and I were kicked to the curb, if you will. And people would try to say, not really, but if you really do the math, really big time. Big time. What happened here? Sidewalk closed, another sidewalk closed situation. Did they do that for me so I won't see the reflection in the glass? We're supposed to do that down wrong. So if you look at this, it looks like a junkyard dog, the entryway. You have to really see it. So the nose would be where the shops is, the eyes are here, and then the head is there, and the mouth is there. So anyway, and what kind of dirty scoundrels play games? Like maybe they put a model-esque figure to walk behind you and in front of you so that you feel like a fat cow. Even if you're halfway good. I saw, I know, model-esque, right. So anyway, and they can play dirty games and everything. I did experience something very badly. I have no idea if I wound up on a list. It's like, I read all kinds of information about this. YouTube used to be a plethora of information, and there was helpful information back in the day about this activity that I now speak of, which includes people buying very specific products in order to stalk you. So if they know that you move somewhere else, they will find someone in their network and they will get the message that they need to buy a little cute little white IKEA chair